whiteboard markers and your iPad, everything else should go away. Today, we're going to talk about something really exciting. Let me just make sure that everyone has what they need, right? A whiteboard marker, a whiteboard. A whiteboard? Oh, Tom, here. And the eraser. Okay, perfect. Okay, excellent. So let's get started. Today we're going to talk about angles. Has anyone ever heard of angles? Have you studied it in Bloom 3, Bloom 2? All right, Max, what do you know about angles?
That there is a cube,
Oh, okay, perfect. Anyone else? Yes.
A right angle is 180 degrees.
Okay, all right, angle is 90 degrees. Anyone else? Yeah, so
A straight line is about 180 degrees.
okay, that straight line is 180. Anyone else? Yes, Ryan.
The one which is after, like a little bit after the 90 degrees is like 120.
Okay, perfect. I'm just gonna close the door real quickly. Oh, thank you, Miss Ann. Okay, perfect. Lovely. Okay, you guys know a lot. And if you don't, then that's okay, because that's exactly what we're gonna learn about today. Okay? So, what are angles? So angles are the space between two lines that meet at one point. So we have two lines, they're going to meet at one point, and that's going to create an angle. You can make it with your hands, you can make it with your fingers, okay? It's just two lines meet at one point, and that creates an angle. Yeah, if we see these blue lines here, this is telling us what the space between those two lines is, okay? Angles can be big or small, like Eloise said. There's an angle that's 180, there's one that's 90, okay, so that tells us if it's big or small. And we measure it in degrees. A couple of you already said the word degrees. So that's what we use, the math term that we use to measure an angle. Okay, so good, so far so good? Okay, so today our LO is identifying angles. Okay, we're gonna use this later on, but just so you guys know, we're gonna learn how to identify angles. Like Eloise said, we have a straight line, okay? So basically, it's just a continuous straight line, okay? And it is 180 degrees. Can you guys look around the classroom and see where you can see straight lines? Fran?
The walls.
Oh, sorry, the walls, okay, Max?
The TV.
The TV?
Floor.
The floor? The table?
The whiteboard.
The whiteboard? Okay. The eraser? The iPod. I'm sure if we made a list of straight lines, they'd be endless, wouldn't it? Okay, perfect. Okay, and all that will have an 80-degree angle. Okay? Okay. 180. Thank you, guys. Okay, next. A right angle. Who said right angle? We got that. Excellent. Yeah, a right angle. So here we have two perpendicular lines that meet, okay? And then they create a right angle. Ooh, can anyone tell me what they observe about this middle line here? That is different. So I'm going to put this on the screen. What is different about a right angle than all the other angles? Matthews.
That how far apart it is.
It's a square. Okay, excellent. So what's indicating the space between the lines is a square. Okay. Keep that in mind. We're going to go over that later, but keep that in mind because we're going to use that information later. So it's always going to be 90 degrees. Okay. A right angle. Can anyone think of any examples of right angle in the classroom? The wall and the floor, perfect. Okay, I was actually, when I thought about right angle, I thought the wall and the ceiling, but the wall and the floor, perfect. Melania?
The lighting.
The light, okay, where would the right angle be? You're not wrong, but where's the right angle? In the middle? Okay. On the edges, right? So if we look at these light things, it's like, oh, it's a 3D shape, isn't it, Miss Sedan? It's a 3D shape, and it does have a right angle on the edges, right? Okay, Lucas?
And you said what I'm gonna say.
Okay, so I said, let's think about another example. Isa? Do you have an example? No? Okay, Max?
The whiteboard?
that's a corner is going to have a 90 degree. Okay, so like again, we just said it in the classroom. There's probably said about 10, and I'm sure if we made a list of 90-degree angles, it would be endless. Okay, now let's talk about an acute angle. Okay, so far we have two angles. What are they?
Acute and
Straight.
Before acute. What are the two that we talked about so far?
Right angle.
Straight angle and
Right.
right angle. Can someone raise their hand and tell me what are the measurement of a straight line in degrees? 180. And what about our right angle?
90.
90. Perfect. Okay, so we have two angles so far. Now let's talk about an acute angle. So we can use our knowledge now of a right angle, our 90-degree angle, to start identifying acute angles, okay? So an acute angle is anything less than 90, okay? Less than 90. So it's gonna go from my right angle all the way over here until there's nothing. And here's the trick, this is what I do to remember, because when I first learned this, I was a bit confused between angles. And what I did to remember is acute, it sounds like a cute angle, right? And usually cute things are small.
Yeah.
You can think about puppies and babies and little baby rabbits, yeah? And those are cute. They're gonna be an acute angle because they're gonna be the smaller angles. Good? Yeah? Okay. Obtuse. Okay, so if we've done 90 degrees and less, our obtuse is gonna be between 90 and 180. What's a 180 degree angle, Chris? And 180 degree angle, what is that? A what, sorry? A straight line, right? So our obtuse angle is going to be anything between a 90 degree and an 80 degree. Chris just said that 180 degree is a straight line. And what's a 90 degree angle? A right angle, lovely, I love this. Okay, excellent. So anything between 90 and 180 is going to be an obtuse. Okay? Okay. Can you think about, this is going to be a bit more trickier, but can you think about what can form an acute or obtuse angle? Right.
Like when like a whiteboard, like pen, like a whiteboard pen, like top, like this board, it's cute.
Is that two lines meeting though?
Yeah, from here.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. So like the corner.
Yes, it's
Ooh, okay, perfect. A lot, very creative. So, okay, so what Brian is saying is like this tip has that like the flat bit and then the straight bit, they mix and they create an acute angle. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, that was good job, Fran. Excellent. Who else wants to give me an example of either an acute or an obtuse? Max.
Like pointy hats, they're cute.
Oh my gosh, we have a pointy hat here. Okay, so we have a pointy hat. We have two lines meeting, and it's creating an acute angle. Yeah? Perfect. Eloise.
When you open the scissors slightly, not the whole way.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, and what about my computer? My computer's open. What angle is mine? An obtuse, right? What about now? Right. And what about now? Acute. Perfect. Excellent. How are we feeling about this? Give me a thumbs up if this is clear, thumbs in the middle if you're still a bit confused, or thumbs down if you don't fully understand it. Tom, let me put our thumbs up if we understand it. Middle. Okay, perfect. Excellent. Okay, I couldn't see your thumb. Eloise, okay, perfect. Okay, so we have, excellent. We're gonna go over this, so if you still have any questions, we'll keep going over this, okay? Some words to know. An angle, okay? What is an angle? What's an angle?
The space between two lines that meet.
Perfect. And we have a straight angle. Who can tell me what's a straight angle? Max?
A straight angle is like this, so straight line.
A straight line. Perfect. It's a straight line. A right angle. Romy? Okay, so it's two perpendicular lines meeting. And what's the degrees of a right angle? 90, perfect. an acute angle. You can, if you can't think of some words, you can talk about degrees. Ben.
An angle that's smaller than 90 degrees but bigger than 0 degrees.
Perfect. And obtuse?
180 to 90.
Between 90 and 180. Okay, and Tom, what's degree?
And like the circle that you put, like when 180 degrees, that equates the circle that you put on it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so that circle that we have in the angles, that's the degree. So it's what we use to measure angles, okay? Okay, good. Perfect. So on your whiteboard, I have here, is this an acute, an obtuse, or a right angle? So I want you to write what you think that these angles are. So A, can everyone help me write on their whiteboard whether they think A is an acute, an obtuse, or a right angle? 2, yes.
One of them that's 0 to 90.
Remember, that should be the smallest one, so remember how I said that's going to be cute. Cute angles, that's a small one. Cute. Okay. All right, showdown. Let's see. Acute, acute, acute. Ooh, I love that. Matthews has written a little cute face on it to remember those visual clues, right? I need those little clues as well. Acute. Ooh, you wrote both.
No, I put up 2 because I'm putting in the column.
Okay, okay. And over here. Can I see? Perfect, perfect. Excellent. All right, now everyone show me B. What do you think this is? An acute, an obtuse, or a right angle? Who can tell me, raising their hands, what angles they can see on the board? Tom,
Right angle.
where?
Here.
Ooh, perfect, okay. Which I love because I was looking at a different right angle. Isa, on the roof? Perfect. What kind of angle is this? A right angle? So it is a type of angle, but it's not quite a right. It's like this. An acute angle, perfect, right? Because it's like less than 90, it's acute angle, perfect. Chris, with the window, what type of angle is that? Can you see there?
Right
A right angle. Romy,
straight.
a straight, ooh, where?
In the bottom.
At the bottom, this is a straight, perfect, Fran.
The gray part, it's right angle.
Okay, so the roof is, the gray part?
The roof.
Yeah, the roof is actually a right angle.
Yeah, because it's just like this, but
You
sideways.
just have to tilt your head a bit and see.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Perfect. Asa, you did say that. So that was fine. The teachers make mistakes too. I was looking at it through a different perspective. Okay, excellent. So it is a right angle. Thank you. Yes, sir.
In all the angles, there's 4 right angles and 4 180 because
Straight lines. Yeah.
straight lines, then there's the meaning of 2 lines.
So if I were looking at just the edges, that would be a straight line, right? But if we're looking at just these straight lines at the faces, that's a straight line, and the edges are. So I'm gonna give you guys a clipboard, and on this clipboard, we have a worksheet. We're gonna go on an angle scavenger hunt, okay? So you are going to grab your pencil and your clipboard, and you are going to identify, not yet, let me finish explaining, okay? Write acute, obtuse, and straight angles. So we're going to identify these angles in our classroom first. We're going to do 2 of each in the classroom, and when you're finished with those 2, we're going to go outside to the room 4 area to keep looking for more. In total, you should have 6 angles. I want you to draw a picture of what you are looking at and show me where the angle is, okay? So we're gonna take a piece, so say I found my book, my reading record, okay? So I'm gonna draw my book, and to show me where the angle is, you're gonna draw that little line, okay? So you're gonna say this is a right angle, you're gonna say this is a right angle, and you're showing me where the angle is.
Okay, where is it? Where is the right angle?
What do you mean?
On the whiteboard, where is the right angle? Okay.
This is so cute.
Sounds good.
Does it have to be like all?
Okay, we're gonna do an activity on seesaw, but before that, Maggie, so no, that's Mr. Dance. And there's one. Okay, ooh, so I heard a lot of you finding right angles, right? Can someone share with me what are some of the right angles that you, Melania? The TV, what type of angle is that? Where is the right angle? Perfect, lovely, on the corners. Anyone else want to share a right angle, Romy? The clipboard, on the edging clipboard, yes.
The evacuation sign.
The evacuation sign. Oh, I see another type of angle there. A type of angle that everyone was looking for. Okay, what about, so right angles we found a bunch, didn't we? Those were easier. What about straight angles? Where did you find straight angles?
My friend is the door.
The door, okay, so the door is a straight angle. Eloise?
In sub 2, I found over there there's like paper with a one four-sided red, which is stop, and that has 8 obtuse.
Okay, excellent. So she found an octagon, and so the octagon the lines meet like this. Okay, anyone else found an obtuse angle? Oops. Oh, great. Wow, look. We have some shapes here. Okay, so there's our obtuse angle is here, right? So where these two lines meet on our hexagon, that's our obtuse angle. Good, I love that creativity. All right, so I want everyone to go on their seesaw, and on your seesaw, you're gonna have an activity identifying angles. So you're gonna write the name of every angle here. So like we're gonna look at where the two lines meet, identify that angle. Tom, what do you need? Your Apple pencil? Let's come here. And then also we have degrees, right? So we said we also learned how to identify angles by their degrees. So here we have 36. We're going to write whether it's acute, obtuse, right, and straight. Okay, so 36, what would that be?
36 would be acute.
Why?
Because it's less than 90.
Lucas? Why?
Because it's less than 90 and more than 0.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So let's do that on our seesaw. Okay, excellent, guys. You did fantastic. So you can remind me. Can you put your iPads flat on the table, just so that I know how? I didn't get distracted with these things. Okay, so do you guys still have your whiteboards?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a degree, and you're going to write on the whiteboard whether it's obtuse, acute, straight, or right, okay? So 90 degrees. I want to see how much we learned. 90 degrees. What's a 90 degree? Okay.
Can I draw it?
Write the name. Right, whether it's a right, obtuse, acute, or straight. What's happening? Okay, it doesn't. All right, Tom, here you go. Okay, so 90 degree. 90 degree is a 90 degree is a remember a 90 degree. Okay. Excellent. Okay. I'm seeing some of twos. Perfect. What about a 67-degree angle? What's a 67-degree angle?
60, wait, what?
67. 67. A 67-degree. Can you erase all the other answers? Because I can't see it too much. Just you. Perfect.
I need to
Good. Excellent.